Developing introductions, hooking the reader. A good opening must hook the reader. You have one chance to grab your reader. Make it a good one. In this video, you will be given several strategies with examples to bring that reader to you. One strategy is in using quotes from famous people. Has a famous person inspired you in some way? The good news is that your reader probably knew that person too. You know the whole famous thing and all. An example is this one below. I once heard the quote by Albert Einstein. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep balance, you must keep moving. It was in this moment I knew I couldn't give up and had to change my life. So as a reader, I first started out reading the quote. Life is like riding a bicycle. And I was thinking, it made me stop and think. Well, when I rode a bicycle, I had a really hard time riding my bicycle. It took me several tries. To keep balance, you must keep moving. So it really makes me think, what is he talking about? He has to keep moving in life. And then he says, it was in this moment that I knew I couldn't give up and had to change my life. That just intrigues me and makes me want to read on and see what moment he knew he couldn't give up, and I want to find out more about that situation. This writer has hooked me. The second example is an anecdote. If you remember, an anecdote is a short story. Authors use this one all the time. No matter if it's a funny story or moving, it gets your reader's attention right off the bat. It raises questions in your reader's head, and they want to read on. An example I have below is one day when I was 10 years old, my father woke me up for school and made me breakfast. He reminded me to brush my teeth. He walked me to the bus stop and said, "Have a good day." It was a completely normal morning, which is what really gets me because it was the last time I ever saw him. This writer makes me think, hooks me by making me think, what on earth? He didn't come back? What happened? It sounded like they had a great life. From the anecdote that the writer had told me right before. Another great strategy is using questionings in your opening. Using questions at the beginning of your essay makes the reader think and want to read on. Hook them with 1, 2, or even 3 thought-provoking questions. One example is below. They assured me that my choice would change nothing. But how could it not? Could you sit down at age 16 and choose between your father or mother, knowing the other would be devastated? As a reader, that makes me want to read on. It hooks me in because I want to know which one he chose and what happened. Were they devastated? Did they work it out? It hooks me to read on and find out more. Another example is the one about the lottery. It says you just won the lottery. We've all imagined this scenario from time to time. What would you buy? What would you change? Well, what if I told you you didn't need to win the lottery at all? Would you believe me? I'm thinking to myself, no. Okay, what do you mean? If you could imagine a time that you could, what would you buy? I don't know. I thought you'd have to win the lottery to have that. So the writer is hooking me in, wanting me to read on, and I want to find out what exactly happened and what could I find out and do. Shocking statements. Instead of making your reader think with questions, give them an answer that makes them wonder how it came to be. You want to feed them a bit of information that hooks them and makes them want to read on. An example is below. Nothing you learn this first 17 years of school means a thing. This was crystal clear the day I turned 18. So the writer is telling me that I didn't need 17 years of schooling. It doesn't mean a thing. So I want to read on. That's the answer that she feels is the answer, but I want to know what happened, what led to that answer. Another example, there is no such thing as a free will. If it existed, I would have had a say in when, where, and to whom I was born. So this writer is telling me that sounds like he or she is not happy with where they grew up, when they grew up, and whom they were born to. So it makes me, as the reader, want to read on and find out what happened in this person's life. Our last strategy that we're going to cover in this video is setting. A narrative essay is not only about getting your message across, you must pull your reader into the story. One way is clearly and descriptively describe your setting right off the bat. If your reader can envision the scene, they will be hooked. This is this writer's example. There was an old wafer town in my hometown that I'd climb from time to time. I'd sit dangling my feet off the edge, picking at the flaking turquoise paint, and watching those cars carrying those lucky people down the road, towards the setting sun, far away from me. This setting makes me have a lot of questions as well as brings me in to the scene. First of all, I see that he climbs from time to time. I don't see very many people climbing anymore. He's sitting, so it makes me wonder, when does this take place? What's going on? He's dangling his feet and picking paint off of the tower. Does this mean it's old? Or is something just falling down? And he's watching those cars carrying those lucky people down the road. That makes me wonder, does this character not feel lucky? Is he sad? Does he like where he lives? It hooks me and wants me to continue reading the story. Now I've just shared several strategies with you. Now go try one of these and hook that reader. You can do it.